Dividing integers. Dividing integers has the same rules as multiplying integers. So when you're dividing with the same signs, your answer or quotient is positive. Here's some examples. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Because I'm dividing with same signs, my answer is positive. Negative 16 divided by negative 4. Because I'm dividing both negative numbers, my answer is positive 4. When you're dividing with different signs, just like with multiplication, you have a negative answer or a negative quotient. Here's some examples. Negative 12 divided by 3. I know 12 divided by 3 is 4, but because my signs are different, my answer is negative 4. And this one, 20 divided by negative 10. I know 20 divided by 10 is 2, but because my numbers are different, my answer is negative 2. So notice we're dividing normally. We're just determining if our answer should be positive or negative. If they have same signs, it's positive, and different signs is negative. Let's talk about when it's okay to divide with 0. But in this problem, we have 0 divided by 5. I prefer to do my dividing with a division bracket like this one, and then plop in your numbers correctly, the 5 on the outside and the 0 on the inside. This still says 0 divided by 5. I need to think 5 times what number would get me to 0. Well, I know 5 times 0 would get me to 0. So when you see a problem set up in this way, 0 divided number, you know that it's okay to divide that way, and your answer would be 0. In this problem, we have 5 divided by 0. So again, I want to use my division bracket. I'm going to put my numbers inside there. So I have 0 going into 5. I need to think 0 times what number would get me to 5? There isn't a number that I can use to get to 5. 0 times any number is going to be 0. So when you have a problem like this, it's undefined. You cannot solve problems that look like that. So when you have a number being divided by 0, you need to remember, no, this is not okay. It does not have an answer. It's undefined. Now that we've added integers and now that we've divided integers, we can start finding the average of data or the mean of data. So to find the average, you find the sum of the data. That means you add that all up and then divide by how many numbers are in that set. So here's an example. Let's pretend these are temperatures for a week in January, and we want to know what the average temperature was. So the first step is to add all those numbers up. I would suggest that you add all the negative numbers together first and the positive numbers together second, and then add those two totals together to find your sum. So go ahead and pause the video to do that now. Alright, so I've listed all my negative numbers here, and I got an answer of negative 35. I have the rest of my numbers and have 21. So now I need to add the two totals together. I have negative 35 plus 21 for a grand sum of negative 14. So now I need to take my total and divide it by how many numbers there are. Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we need to divide this negative 14 by 7. I know 7 times 2 would get me to 14. But I have a negative 14 and a positive 7, so that means my answer needs to be negative. So if this was a week's worth of temperatures, we could say the average temperature was negative 2 degrees.